ever imagined this? In one small American state, there are places where unemployment can hit double digits and crime is part of daily life. But just a few dozen minutes away, another town has household incomes above $250,000, and life feels almost untouched by trouble. These are not two different countries. This is Connecticut, and what makes it feel even more extreme is how close everything is. In this video, we'll look at two sides of Connecticut that are rarely discussed together, from small cities facing the toughest challenges to some of the best small towns with the highest quality of life. Griswold is not a town that immediately feels troubled. At first glance, it actually looks quiet. Small roads, simple homes, and a slow pace of life. But behind that calm, there is a quieter story. Economic stagnation that has been moving slowly but consistently. The median household income here is around $78,000. That number is not extreme, but compared with Connecticut's high standards, the gap is noticeable. Many residents work outside the area because local job opportunities are limited. The town also includes Jewett City, which serves as a small center of activity. But beyond that, there has not been much major development that truly changes the town's economic direction. Putnam is interesting. Not a town that has fallen, but also not one that has fully risen again. In the past, it was a textile industry center along the Quinebaug River. Today, those traces are still felt, but in a different form. The median household income is around $65,000, with a poverty rate of about 11%. The numbers show that economic pressure still exists, though not as severely as in the cities ranked higher. What makes Putnam unique is that it has tried to change. Its downtown has started coming back to life with art galleries, antique shops, and small restaurants. There is a clear revitalization effort, and that gives the town a fairly strong character. But behind that, the reality is not fully stable yet. Many available jobs are not especially high-paying, and economic growth still feels limited. Crime is relatively moderate, not highly noticeable, but still present. Norwich is often nicknamed the Rose of New England, but behind that sweet name, the reality is quite complex. This city once had an important role as an industrial and port center at the meeting point of three rivers, the Shetucket, Yantic, and Thames. Its location was strategic, and its history is strong. Today, the story is more mixed. The median household income in Norwich is around $65,000, with a poverty rate that can reach 16%. That number is fairly high for Connecticut and shows real economic pressure. In terms of crime, Norwich falls into the moderate to high category, especially for property crime. It is not as high as certain big cities, but it is still noticeable compared with the wealthy small towns in this state. New London is unique. Based on location, this coastal city should have everything it needs to grow. An active harbor, proximity to the Navy submarine base in Groton, and busy maritime transportation routes. Even from its waterfront, the atmosphere can feel quite lively and full of character. But once you look at the data, the story is not as beautiful as the view. The median household income here is around $44,000, with a poverty rate of about 21%. There is a noticeable gap between areas that are developing and neighborhoods that are still left behind. Crime is also a factor, especially property crime, which tends to be higher than in many wealthy small towns in Connecticut. This is not a completely unsafe city, but it clearly does not fall into the comfortable and worry-free category like the elite suburbs in this state. Willimantic often feels like a city stuck in the past. It was once a busy textile industry center. Factories stood along the Willimantic River, and the nickname Thread City was not just a name. Even its iconic bridge is still decorated with giant frogs. The Frog Bridge, a symbol of a strange but interesting local story. Today, the reality is more complex. The median household income here is around $45,000, with a poverty rate that can reach 23%. That is high for Connecticut. Many industrial jobs disappeared, and not all of them were replaced by new sectors. The problem is not a lack of life, but imbalance. Willimantic feels like a city still searching for a new direction after losing its old identity. Ansonia feels like a city that once had a major role, and that is true. In the late 19th century, this place was known as a metal manufacturing center, especially for brass. The name Ansonia itself comes from Anson Phelps, the industrial figure who helped bring the city into its golden age. But like many old industrial cities in Connecticut, that story did not fully continue. Today, the median household income here is around $47,000. That number shows real economic pressure, especially when compared with wealthy towns in Fairfield County that are not very far away. In terms of crime, Ansonia tends to sit above the ideal small-town average, especially for property crime and neighborhood disturbances. It is not big city level, but it is enough to affect the sense of safety and quality of life. Torrington is slightly different from other struggling cities. Here, it is not about a major crisis, but more about a slow feeling of stagnation. In the past, the city lived off manufacturing. Metal tool factories and industrial components formed the backbone of its economy. The remains are still visible along the Naugatuck River. Old buildings, some renovated, others looking like they stopped halfway through time. The median household income is around $49,000, with a poverty rate of about 13%. On paper, this is not as severe as Hartford or Waterbury, but the issue is momentum. Growth is slow, and truly attractive job opportunities are limited. Crime tends to be moderate, especially in the property crime category. Not extreme, but noticeable compared with Connecticut's elite small towns that feel almost undisturbed. Derby is often called one of the smallest cities in Connecticut, but its history is actually quite big. In the 19th century, the city stood at the meeting point of the Housatonic and Naugatuck rivers, a strategic location that once helped industry grow rapidly. Derby even became one of the important manufacturing centers in the region. Today, the atmosphere is much quieter, maybe too quiet. The poverty rate is around 11%. That number is not as bad as the cities above, but it still shows that the local economy is not truly strong. What you feel in Derby is not a major crisis, but a lack of drive. Its location is actually strategic, close to New Haven and still within commuter range. But its downtown has not grown as quickly as nearby areas, and economic opportunities feel limited. Jewett City. Jewett City is small, truly small, and that is exactly where its story begins. As a borough within the town of Griswold, its scale is limited, and you can feel that immediately in the pace of life. In the past, this area grew from textile production and small factories along the Quinebog River. Today, what remains is mostly the trace of that history: old buildings, a simple downtown, and activity that never feels too busy. The median household income here is around $50,000, with a poverty rate of about 14%. On paper, that may look okay, but compared with Connecticut's high standards, the gap is noticeable. Local job opportunities are also limited. Many residents have to leave the area for work. There is not much room for expansion and not much new investment. Jewett City is not a town that has collapsed, but more like a place moving slowly with no major changes ahead. Danielson feels like a place that is almost there, almost stable, almost growing, but not quite reaching it yet. As part of Killingly, This area has a small center that is still active, rows of local shops, a main street that comes alive at certain hours, and a community that still feels close-knit. The median household income here is around $44,000, slightly better than some other places on this list. The poverty rate is around 21%, showing that economic pressure still exists, though not as heavily as in the cities ranked above it. Many residents work outside the area because local job opportunities are not very abundant. In truth, Danielson has potential, its location is not too remote, and its infrastructure is fairly supportive. But the problem is classic. Growth comes slowly. This is not a place that has fallen far behind, but more like one still trying to catch up to a faster pace. After looking at cities still struggling with the economy, crime, and limited opportunities, one big question appears. Is all of Connecticut like this? The answer is far from it. Because less than an hour's drive away, you can find a completely different world. Places where household incomes can be 3 to 4 times higher, crime feels almost non-existent, and quality of life sits at a very stable level. Cos Cob is like the gateway into elite Connecticut, not the most expensive area, but clearly already above average. As part of Greenwich, this area naturally benefits from being tied to one of the wealthiest communities in America. But compared with its more glamorous neighbors, Cos Cob feels a little more grounded. The median household income here is around $99,000, with a very low poverty rate. Many residents are professionals who work in New York City, making Cos Cob an ideal commuter town. Quiet, but still well-connected. Interestingly, Cos Cob also has a history as an artist colony in the late 19th century, known as the Cos Cob Art Colony. So behind its modern suburban appearance, there is a fairly deep cultural layer. Southport is small, quiet, and almost feels hidden, but that is exactly where its appeal lies. Located within Fairfield, it is one of the most exclusive coastal communities in Connecticut. It is not the kind of place that feels crowded or packed with attractions, but more like a neat, private, and carefully preserved neighborhood. The median household income here can be around $99,000, with poverty almost unseen. Many classic colonial-style homes stand along quiet streets, and some properties even face directly toward Long Island Sound. Crime in Southport is very low, making it one of the safest areas in the state. This is the kind of place where calm truly feels real, not because nothing happens, but because everything runs in a stable and orderly way. Old Greenwich is like the coastal version of elite suburban life, more relaxed, but still expensive. As part of Greenwich, this area naturally belongs to one of the wealthiest communities in America, but with a slightly different feel, closer to the beach, more lively, and more livable. The median household income here is around $154,000, with poverty almost invisible. Many residents are professionals who work in New York City, using the direct train access while still enjoying a seaside atmosphere. What makes Old Greenwich stand out is its balance. There is a beach like Greenwich Point, often called Todd's Point, a small center with cafes and local shops, and an active community that never feels too busy. Riverside feels like a quieter and more polished version of Greenwich. Not too flashy, but clearly at the upper level. This area is dominated by well-kept residential neighborhoods, clean, small roads, and an atmosphere that almost always feels stable. The median household income here is around $250,000, and in some parts, it can be much higher. Poverty is almost unseen, and most residents are high-earning professionals, many of whom work in New York City. Interestingly, Riverside does not try to be the center of attention. There are not many large commercial centers or tourist attractions, and that is exactly its appeal. The focus is on quality of life, good schools, quiet surroundings, and a very stable community. Mystic feels different from the other elite towns on this list. While Riverside or Old Greenwich feel like quiet luxury, Mystic has energy, lively, busy, and full of character, but still clean and safe. The median household income here is around $152,000, with a low poverty rate and a stable economy. What makes it strong is that its economy does not depend on just one sector. Tourism, local businesses, and maritime history all support each other. Crime in Mystic is very low, keeping it comfortable even though it is a popular tourist destination. And that is exactly what makes it unique. Busy, but not chaotic. Its main icon is clearly Mystic Seaport Museum, the largest maritime museum in the United States, along with Mystic Aquarium, which also draws millions of visitors every year. Add in the bascule bridge that can rise in the middle of town, and that small detail gives the place its distinct atmosphere. Noank is small, truly small, but that is exactly where its exclusive value comes from. Located on a small peninsula near Groton, this place feels like a hidden community, far from the noise but still close to everything. The median household income here is around $143,000, with a very low poverty rate. One of the most noticeable things is the unemployment rate, which feels almost non-existent. This is the type of community where nearly everyone has a stable economic footing. Crime in Noank is extremely low, even compared with Connecticut's already high standards. The environment is quiet, safe, and very well preserved, more like a private community than an open town. What makes Noank unique is its maritime identity. It was once a fishing village, and that atmosphere still feels alive today. Small boats at the docks, local seafood restaurants, and a relaxed but orderly pace of life. Weatogue is the kind of place that may look ordinary when you pass through. Quiet roads, neat homes, and no busy downtown. But behind that simplicity, one of Connecticut's most economically stable communities is hidden. As part of Simsbury, Weatogue enjoys a very well-kept suburban environment. The median household income here is around $163,000, with poverty almost invisible. Many residents are professionals with stable jobs, and you can feel that immediately in the quality of the surrounding neighborhoods. Crime in Weatogue is extremely low, even by this state's standards. This is the type of place where safety is no longer an issue. It is more like a basic part of everyday life. New Canaan is not just a wealthy small town. It is already in old money territory. From the moment you enter, the atmosphere feels different. Wide roads, large homes hidden behind trees, and everything looks extremely controlled. The median household income here can reach $146,000, with poverty almost invisible. Many residents are executives, senior professionals, or families with long-standing wealth that has been rooted here for generations. What makes New Canaan stand out is not only its wealth, but also its identity. The town is famous for mid-century modern architecture, especially the work of the Harvard Five, making it one of America's important centers of architectural design. Darien is the next level, not just wealthy, but consistently ranked among the very top communities in America. Once you enter this area, everything feels highly orderly. Large homes with spacious yards, clean roads, and neighborhoods that look almost flawless. Its location is also a major advantage. Darien sits along the main commuter line to New York City, making it very popular for people who want access to the big city without living inside it. The median household income here is around $250,000, making it one of the highest in Connecticut. Poverty is almost unseen. Most residents are executives, senior professionals, and families with major assets. Darien does not feel like a busy town. There are not many large commercial centers or tourist attractions. The focus is clear: an exclusive, stable, and private living environment. If there is one small town in Connecticut that feels like the complete package, it is Westport. Here, prosperity is not just about numbers. It is also about a lifestyle you can actually see. From its lively downtown to its quiet coastal areas, everything feels balanced. Downtown Westport is filled with boutiques, restaurants, and active public spaces, rare for a town this wealthy. Add access to beaches like Campo Beach, and the town offers a balance between social life and calm. The median household income in Westport is around $250,000, with poverty almost non-existent. Many residents are executives, creative industry figures, and professionals who work in New York City, which is easy to reach by train. Crime in Westport is very low, making it one of the safest places to live in the state. But that is not the only thing that makes it stand out.